Stream. All right, so everybody out there should be hearing us on the loading screen. I guess we can knock off YouTube since didn't get to play around with that. So sad. How's it doing that? Yeah, I just switched to black and white for some reason. So Skype is probably not the best way, but we'll make it work and learn for next time. Skype is really nice because of I guess let me pop to this. All right, hello out there. So we were having some technical issues. It seems like every time we take one step forward or take two steps forward, one step back. So it's very frustrating. But basically, Skype is really nice to have. It actually can record off Skype, which is really cool. So I can use it for future stuff. But Skype nowadays, compared to the Zoom and all the other ones, is really clunky. So I'll maybe have to look into maybe Zoom might work, or I know Google Meets is really well. I just gotta look into something else. FaceTime is, my opinion, the best, but most people don't really have that. But you can hear me pretty well there, Tran.
Yep.
Cool. Turn you up. All right, man. Well, I greatly appreciate it. Welcome everybody out there. This is the TROD podcast. Something we started a couple months ago, but then went for a second episode a couple weeks ago. Just something to basically chit chat about airsoft and as well as other things, but mainly focused around airsoft. Kind of give our opinions on what we've seen. He's been doing this. How long have you been doing this, Hunter?
Going on about 13 years.
13 years. I think about 10 years ago I started, played for about a year or two, some outdoor mom and pop family stuff with the KWA, and that's about it. Then stopped for about 8 years, 7 years. Then got back going when we started playing Speaky B stuff. How about you, Mr. Tran?
I have been airsoft probably about 10 years ago. But it was pretty deep into paintball for the longest time. I was playing paintball for like I would say 6-7 years. Every weekend, every tournament was out there. So big into paintball, but I just stepped foot back into airsoft maybe I say about 8 months ago.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Would you just to clarify, so I'm not messing up? You go under Tony, Tran, Panda. What do you want?
I go under Panda.
Panda.
It's
Let's
fine.
roll with
Yep.
Panda. Panda sounds cool. I got to change mine anyways. Mine's Maverick, but I just had my son, which is my second kid. Just had my son as of Friday, so he is like 6 days old. And his name's Maverick, so I'll have to be changing mine. But anyways, so we got this podcast, just kind of talk about airsoft stuff, give our ins and outs, as well as obviously he's done paintball, a lot of paintball. Hunter, you've done a little bit of paintball as well. So kind of give our opinions on it. But man, again, I greatly appreciate you coming on here. I know I messaged you a couple weeks ago, and I know those new messages go in like a separate box, and I was like, man,
it's so dumb.
yeah,
It's like I think I also think it's like you have to be friends with that person on Instagram
mm-hmm.
for it to even come under your normal inbox.
Yep.
Because I get so much like just crap all in the messages. Because I use that for business and personal.
Gotcha.
So I get a lot of like stuff on there that I just don't want to like look at.
Gotcha.
And then I was finally scrolling through it yesterday because I had to look for something from a certain person. And I saw you on there, and I was like, "That's Maverick." And I was like, "Wait," click on it. I was like, "Oh crap, man! I missed out." I was like, "Okay, let me hit him back up real quick."
No, you're good. I was super stoked. I was like, because I know the one thing I really wanted to touch a face. I'll get it.
Touch somebody.
I'm gonna touch somebody, touch face of somebody down in Atlanta. That we do respect you guys, your team. We really like playing with you guys. So somebody down to Atlanta that we can talk to, communicate with, just to see what's going on. Even though we do travel down there, it's still about an hour 45 ish. So we don't get to make it down there as often. But I want to get touch base with somebody down there. Unfortunately, we had Dye coming on this weekend or this week, but with that blocked ship in the China seas, is that right?
Something like that.
It
Devin said he had to work. Like he's going to be working real late tonight, tomorrow night, and probably through the weekend. So
So he unfortunately had to cancel out, which is cool. We're gonna catch back up with him maybe in a few weeks or next month. But Panda, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on. Basically, I wanted to start from scratch. So you did paintball with the same people you're playing with now, or what kind
Nah,
did you go from paintball
it
over to
was
us?
paintball was a totally different team. So I started paintball in like '04 in Seattle first when I went ordered to visit, just chilling with my nephews and stuff like that. And then he brought me into paintball. And then when I came out of St. Louis, I started playing with the Big Shop kids, uh, pretty known in St. Louis. A couple of the players there in that team now are pro players in paintball right now. So yeah, I stuck with paintball for a while. Moved down here, kept on playing paintball too. Played at Nitro, Dosser. So played a couple of different places. But then the team I was on for longest was Mental Diversion. We played on there for about 3 years or so.
What got you to
Went
switch
to
over?
I stopped playing paintball since once I started becoming like an adult,
Uh huh.
like actually like having my own business and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So I took all my time off. Because I used to just work, just normal jobs. So I had a weekends off. But since I started opening all my business and stuff, it threw my time off. So I wasn't able to play. So I stopped. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Biscuits started. He threw up something on Facebook. It's like, oh, I want to play airsoft. Who wants to go? I was like, cool. Let me try. So I went there, tried it out, fell in love with it, and then it just started from there. So
That's awesome. Why did you? So
yeah.
I must have missed it. But why did you decide to just give up? Paintball seems like it's more of the adult sport, in my opinion. But they're both
Yeah.
adult sports. It's how you think about it. But I feel like paintball is more of it compared to airsoft. So that's kind of a different aspect.
Yeah. Well, it was just I guess it's like I played paintball for so long, so you kind of get burnt out of it in a
Hmm.
way. And the team that I used to play with kind of disbanded after a while also. So I was like, okay, maybe I could jump back on the paintball, but then, like I said, Andrew kind of just jumped out there and was like, hey, let's go play airsoft one day. So I jumped on and played out there. I was like, dang, this is actually pretty fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like I was like, dang, holding M4 and shooting people, that's pretty cool. Instead of using like a Lux or a die gun out there,
Yeah.
and then it's just that's a paintball gun. Why are you holding more realistic guns through airsoft? I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I started playing, and I was like, damn. So I started buying stuff, and I was like, man, this is a money pit too. It got worse and worse and worse. But yeah,
What's your thoughts of them transitioning over? I say transitioning. Airsoft still has your realistic guns, but in the Speed QB world or Speedsoft world, they're kind of coming out with some of the guns that look like paintball guns. Are going to that aspect.
oh
Are you
yeah,
against it or?
I'm not against it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so first thing first was SSG. I have one right here. That I just finished.
Okay.
I'm not sure you can see the colors or not, but I just finished this one for myself. And like they started SSG one, and then now they're coming out with the tap on the bottom where you hold the tank like a paintball tank.
Yep.
I think that's cool. It's a different how to say it. For me,
Mhm.
I want one because that's like 10 years of my experience holding a paintball gun and just shooting and aim. Like
Yeah.
how this is like it's natural instincts. So I want one myself. Of course, it's gonna look dumb. A lot of people are gonna talk a lot of smack about it, but you benefits from it a lot because the gun is so high up, and when you're holding it, it's just your line of sight.
Yeah.
Where that tip of the barrel is, you're gonna hit that. You know what I'm saying? So your aiming is gonna be on a little more on point. You're gonna be a lot closer. Like for instance, Speed QB, you're gonna be a lot closer into the barrier instead of being so far with like an M4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's just posture in a way. So I feel like people are gonna hate on it, but then don't hate on it until you use it.
Yeah.
Because for me, being on the paintball side, like it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With your aiming, your first shot aiming, it's gotta be deadly with that thing. So
Diablo's here too. Believe it or not, he is here.
I'm half asleep. But no, it's like as far as like me, I used to play paintball I can see what he's saying. You know, it is like a second nature. You know, something I done for quite some time. But the difference in me is I done a lot of, you know, once I got out of paintball, I moved into like real steel shooting. You know, rigger rimfire, IDPA, 3-gun, 2-gun. I got into all that. So you know, as that came around, once I got into airsoft, it's just, you know, like another thing to me.
Mhm.
Whereas he's real comfortable with, you know, shooting the paintball style. I've kind of lost touch with that, to be honest with you. I feel like it threw me off completely, because, like I said, you know, the IDPA and all that stuff that I shot real steel, you know, it just
Mhm.
transferred over to airsoft. You know, just holding it, you know, the pistols, the rifles, close, long, it makes no difference to me.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. The ergonomics of the paintball guns for Speedsoft it just works really well, and I do like the SSG one how it's designed. It's weird. I like the design for again the ergonomics of it, but the look of it, I'm like, man, it's going away from the airsoft mentality, but it's in it's I did racing for a long time. I've said this in the past in the podcast. And in the racing world, most of these cars are not the original stock cars that they started off with. They've transitioned over to what works best, what's the fastest way to go around the track. And Speedsoft and Airsoft is kind of the same way. Is if it's faster to use that the cylinder or the barrel that's plastic all the way around instead of the M-lock railing, and using a stubby stock instead of the pull out, like if getting it lighter, getting it smaller. If that's what makes you a better player, then that's kind of the route that everybody's going, and I think this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
What do you like, AEG or HPA?
Okay, that's gonna be a tough one. So I have both, of course. Um, oof. So I use HPA so much because of Speed QB. Um, but like I still enjoy using my AEG. But my AEG isn't like a stock AEG. It's pretty built out too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's comparable in a way also. Of course, AEG is probably gonna be a little heavier, a little
Mm-hmm.
clunkier, but it still shoots about the same. You know what I'm saying? It's the rate of fire's gonna be a little slower, but I just like the feel of not having that bar on your back
Mm-hmm. I
and
think
having the holes.
that trigger response, I feel like it's there, but I don't know what it is about the HPA. Unless you're using that binary trigger on the AEGs, I think that HPA still is a little touchier, which is nice to have.
Yeah,
But I think the trigger response is pretty close. But yeah, like you said, the rate of fire. But with Speedsoft, it is what it is. But
yeah.
I'm I build guns myself. I do very light versions of it. Built my own DSGs and kind of stuff like that. And I have mainly my um field gun is an HBA, and it's actually I like using the Wolverine. I did the updated software, and I just roll with that. It's really nice. Yeah,
That's
see,
why I have on that my yellow one that you guys always see me use.
that's it. That's a
And my
Wolverine.
yeah, it's my MTW over there.
See,
And like I used that the whole last season. You know what I'm saying? And it ran beautiful, fine. Like I was one of the like rare ones that was using like something else besides a Polar Star.
yeah, and
You know what I'm
that's where
saying?
we are. Our local field kind of got us. I say got us into it. What's your opinion on Wolverine? How did we get into Wolverine?
To be honest with you, I like the MTW. I saw it at the SS 8 year when they was bringing out the prototypes. And once I saw the prototype, I just fell in love with it. I like how the whole system came complete, but it didn't look like a junk system. Because you know some of these guns when they say they're like HPA'd out the box, they kind of look like junk.
Yeah.
But you know the MTW really caught my eye at the 8 year, and then you know it just fell into place once they released them. You know I got a hold of Chad, and I was like, "Yo, can you get these for us?" And then there we are, got the MTWs, and not to mention, you know Alex, you know he had ran it, you know a little bit in my like put a little bug in my ear, you know talking about the MTWs. So I give him a little credit on that too, talking about you know bringing them in and bringing them into the Speaky Beat world. But to be honest with you, like I'm not trying to say we was the first, you know, the Georgia scene per se. But before you know that, I've really never seen MTWs ran in SpeedQB, and
I,
then now it
Yeah.
seems like it's growing.
I was pretty shocked that you even said I didn't even we haven't even looked at your gun that detailed. I didn't even know it was running Wolverine, which is awesome to see because it is. It seems like it's been Polar Star everything. Either some people run AEGs, but pretty much if you need to be on the top level, which is not even true, but if you need to be on the top level, you need a Polar Star, and I don't think that's
Yeah.
a fact at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. So mine's looks a little different because of I Cerakote stuff But yeah, everybody that's field knows like I've been using this for the whole season last year. It has like Magpul furniture on there, but it's a 10-inch rail with a 7-inch outer barrel, so the trace unit sits a little closer in. Full barrel setup and everything's done. So there's nothing like that can be upgraded on this thing, but I've used it and I've let other guys use it, like when their guns are down during PvP, and they all love it.
Yeah.
So it's a platform that it's been slept on, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely, every time you get it, you can pick it up and it's gonna run consistently.
yeah, it's like this thing was my workhorse for the longest time, like, and it still works fine. It's just that I think after playing for so long, you just kind of want to change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I grabbed the SSG one just to play with it and see how I feel about it. But of course, like, this is gonna be with me all the time though, you know, just in case something does happen.
What do you got to the SSG one? What are your plans, or what have you done to it, or what's your plans for it?
So I got it in a trade 2 days ago actually, and I got it all Cerakoted done already. So of course I like to be flashy and be hated. So that's why I throw all the like the LV stuff, the pandas on there, and just being loud. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. No kidding.
Yeah. So, the one thing I kind of didn't want was the ARP9 stock.
Yeah.
I kind of want SSG one. It's there for a reason. I don't know why this guy took it off, but I'm gonna live with it for now. But it does have a fusion in there, pro and hop up. Barrel's done, hop, bucking's done, running red nozzle, red poppet. So everything's done on it. So there's nothing else I could do to it. Speed trigger and everything also. So I haven't used on the field yet. Like I said, I only had 2 days ago. So it's gonna be something I'm gonna try out probably this Saturday and see how it runs.
Yeah, this Saturday is their next tournament, right? Tournament practice.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We won't be making this one, but we're definitely gonna hit the next one. We, like I said, with my new family and a couple of guys have some out trips, so we won't be there this weekend, but we definitely will be there next weekend, and hopefully there might be some stragglers from Anderson this weekend that you might see. There's two teams that are down here that have formed over the last year, but they haven't been playing a lot of Speed QB. They've been mainly going over to 413 and practicing around.
I have never played Speed QB.
They have been practicing at 413, so maybe not Speed QB. They definitely
One
have
of the two.
Oh.
The second one, you know what I'm talking about. They've never played Speed QB, period, or even any form outside of Battlecat.
Needless to say, they're supposed to be heading up there. If they said, I think they either said this weekend, and if not this weekend, then maybe next month with us. So we'll maybe bring some more teams, which would be pretty cool. They got a lot of learning to do, but hopefully we can kind of go back into growing this thing.
Hey, you know, I think that's the thing. It's like with us being like a community itself. Like, we always want new teams to come down. You know, like how we were, like how when we first had our Speed QB first time, we were scared shitless. Like I think you guys are the first team that came up to me and talked to me about it. I'm not sure if you guys remember. You guys kind of like calmed me down and talked to me about, and you guys were the team that gave me tips to give to the guys too. And that's why I loved you guys so much ever since then. Because like, we were so new. It was the first tournament. We didn't know shit. We didn't know what to do. We did fine, surprisingly. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, the first time we went there, we were like, hey, we're not going to go to a practice tournament. We're just going to go to a practice. And this was when us and Psycapper were cool. When I say cool is, we can still talk to them, but this is like, they gave us so much help in the beginning because they knew we had no experience and everything like that. So we're like, all right, we're going to go down there and practice and get warmed up and get an understanding of it. And we got wrecked hard. And we're like, okay, this is not that simple. There's some game style to it. After that, came back a couple weeks later and actually did the practice tournament and won a good amount of matches. Not all of them, obviously, but a good amount.
Lost two. We lost our first game. We went 1-2 with Brick Squad, and then our other one that we lost was to Psi Kappa. They beat us 2-0.
And that's where we were like, okay, we're getting an idea of it now. Then us and kind of Psi Kappa, again, I use this lightly, separated. I think they realized that we were a team that is very competitive against them. So they weren't giving all their tips and tricks, which I mean,
They
we
gave us, I would say they gave us like the foundation and
Mhm.
got us started. And then once they realized we was picking up, they kind of left us alone and let us create our own thing per se. Does
correct.
that make sense?
And I think that's where we try to do that. We do it. Uh, we almost do it too much. Like he gets on me all the time about, hey, watch what you say because it's still, we still have our plans, our strategy, stuff like that. But definitely tell him everything you know, and we do that with usually like all the local teams here. Anybody that's up there asks us questions. We definitely don't know everything, but it's nice to. He's good friends with a lot of the SYG guys. When we got to play against the LTD team, we asked them a ton of questions, and they gave us feedback to learn off of. So it was cool that you have that memory of us
Yeah,
at least giving you some type of info.
yeah. It was a fun experience. I think we went like 4 for 4 or 3 for 3 somewhere that day, and I was like, damn, we actually won games. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Because before that, we've never stepped foot on the speed QB field.
Hmm.
We've always played on the rec field, just running around, getting used to play style and everything. So
Yep.
speed QB was totally different. But the good thing about it is because I played speedball and paintball, so I've had that experience.
Yeah.
So I was kind of I was able to help out the guys, and also that's why I'm a Dorito player my entire life. But then since I've jumped to speed QB, I've stayed in the back just because I can pinpoint where everyone's going
Yeah.
and help out the team. So that's why you always find me at home just screaming my top of my lungs.
Yep.
It's just so like I'm happy though, like how we've progressed so far, and and thank you guys for like giving us the tips though. Like even at the last time we've seen you guys were still throwing me tips here and there. Watching our games, and you guys were still doing it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
we enjoy hopefully growing the sport. The big thing that we obviously everybody frowns on is the toxic playing, and the toxic playing is some special teams out there just whether they win or lose just talk all kinds of smack, and that's not what it's about. It's about coming off the field and having a good time. Of good job, maybe you can work on this, or hey, what do I need to work on? But that whole communication should be where it's at to grow the sport, and we try to give that away. Obviously, sometimes tempers flare and we get really quiet, but we try not to do that. We try to grow as much as we can. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's crazy to see some of the newer teams that are starting to come that it's weird. I talked to one specifically. I'm not gonna name any names, but he messaged me and he said, "Hey," he goes, "I'm kind of nervous about this weekend that we're gonna go up there and get wrecked and then never do it again." I'm like, well, to be honest with you, if that's your thought process, if you're gonna go up there and hope to win a bunch of games and not get wrecked or not look embarrassed, don't show up. I said, don't even come. I said, because there's a chance that you might get wrecked on it and you're gonna get embarrassed just because you guys are new to it. But you take that information and you learn from it, and that's where I was like, dude, expect to lose, but if you win a match, dude, high five, get hyped, get pumped. Just winning that one match, like you said, you guys were like, man, I didn't think I'd win any, and we won 3 of them, and that's the same way we were. We were just expected not to win any, hopefully win one, and when we won a few, we're like, oh, okay, we can do this, and that's how all these new teams just need to expect to lose and get hyped when you win, and then just kind of learn from your experience. Every time we go up there, we're always changing something, adjusting something, learning. Even some of these new teams, it was crazy. Our first big tournament we did was in 2019. Was that the 9 year? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
The
I don't remember.
I think it was 20.
Like, are you talking about like the actual one where there was like something besides good job at on the line? Is that what you're talking about? Like as far as first tournament or
No. The first big one we did was the 9 year grand
the
opening.
LTD and all them were there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That one.
Sorry, I drew a blank.
You're good. But that one was crazy because there's a few teams that traveled from, I think, DDA. They're from Virginia, right?
Yeah, they're from somewhere.
They're from somewhere, somewhere in the world. But they came down, and it was we really enjoyed watching their play style, how they do things, and we even learned a few things off of them, even though they're not from anywhere around here. And the other thing is the field that we're playing on, or SS specifically, is a pretty small field from what I can see. Like how we set up everything compared to Tax City and P1 and our Project N1 and even Fort 13. A lot of them are even a little bit bigger, but SS is pretty narrow.
Yeah, it is. That's what threw me off too. Because I haven't personally been to other fields, but I've seen their layouts. I've seen how people run on it. I was like, damn, those fields are huge. You know what I'm saying? And then now when we jump to SS, it is smaller, but then I think that's also why the games are so very fast paced
Hmm.
because of the field size. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that field size is. I feel like it's like chess in when you play SS is like chess, where the other ones I wouldn't say it's like chess at P1 or any of those. The fields are so big that you can kind of separate your team a good amount, where you can kind of
Yeah.
maneuver around. Where SS, it's like really you can only move for the most part
What?
one spot at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yep, exactly. And while like, cause like I've always been on a speedball field on paintball, and then it takes me like 20 steps to get to Dorito. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes like 30 in a dive, and hopefully don't get shot doing a Superman dive.
Yep.
And you know it's so far out. So when I'm here playing in SS, it's like cool, 5 steps, slide, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So it is smaller, but it also gives you the more action packed games. That's why you see some games takes like 40 seconds, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's small, which
That's
is cool because then it kind of like puts you in a mindset of like, okay, you could get blown out.
Mhm.
So that's why you always had to play. You had to be at the top of your game at all times. You know what I'm saying?
At all times. I remember that bad experience we had where we were facing a pretty newish team, my opinion, and one of their teammates got on our backside. All of us were looking right, and that when they were able to sweep four of us on that from that one, and ever since then, I mean, you obviously know you need to check both sides. It's a simple fact,
Yeah.
but that was just such a learning experience of this is what will happen. Get it, understand it, learn it, never
Yeah.
happen again, type of deal.
Yep.
But
yeah, you gotta watch. The good thing about SS I like is I like action packed. I think that's one thing where I like. I can't say that I like outdoors too. That's not where I'm headed with that. Anyways, I think the reason I like SS is Field, and it's from talking to like Demo and those guys. They like how small it is because it's so fast. But it is different, you know. Dylan and them when they come down, they always talk about how small it is because they're used to playing on a field where they're reaching out on shots or doing, and when they see somebody coming, they got a little bit more time to react.
mm,
Versus
Yeah.
SS when they come, they come. It's quick, and the barriers, they're all a lot closer. Which when I used to play frontline, the frontline was I always enjoyed playing SS because I felt like it was kind of easy to work the front, but now that I've swapped to backline, I see kind of what they're saying because, like in talking about that one time when we got swept that one time, like I literally had just stopped looking left, and next thing I know, I'm getting pinged in the back. And it was like, dude, and it's like, I know you're not freaking Flash over here, but if you got a little pep in the step, you can get across that field fast.
they caught it at literally the right moment because our guy was watching left because the Doritos they were kind of staggered off one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was looking left, but there really wasn't much going on to the left because it was so
Yeah.
kind of covered. And he was like, all right. And as soon as he went right, we kind of all were looking right, and they went around. It's that one split decision, and it sucks.
It is. Like think of it this way. When do you find a 300-pound guy just running down the field like me? Like you see my videos, I'm just booking it straight from home, from certain home, just full speed down the head. That's why I like the field for being for me being able to play like that too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like at the fit like I used to be when playing paintball. I can't be Superman diving like I used to be anymore, But like it's still fun, you know what I'm saying? Because like you get all these action packs. Cause, like there's videos like where I'll post up where you see is like my front guys will sit there, but why do you see me just from the back, just running in front of everybody, and all of a sudden when they see me running, my rest of my team just runs down with me too. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun. Like don't get me wrong, it is a small field, but it's a hell of a fun field to play on though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I want to get onto the Milsim stuff because I know you actually do dabble with it as well, which is pretty awesome to hear. But before we get there, I want to poke you on a couple questions. What do you think it would take to have the community of SpeedQB or SpeedSoft grow? As in, what there's always they always talk about speed soft, how toxic it is, and people won't do it because of this, that, whatever. What do you think needs to be fixed to help us grow to be what paintball is now?
Ooh, okay. So, how would I put this? I think it's just because paintball has such a big backing, you know what I'm saying? By these big corporations, by big companies. For how like PSP used to be, NPPL used to be, NXL used to be, all these big companies putting thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars into these venues where it draws a lot of attention in, but then it's also these teams are like pro teams, you know what I'm saying? Like they know how to put themselves out there to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
While with SpeedQB, it's still such a small company. It's the biggest company in airsoft,
Mm-hmm.
but as a company itself, it doesn't have that much of a backing like how these other paintball venues are.
Mm-hmm.
So with these teams that comes out though, it's how would I say it? It's a Call of Duty. You know how there's good players and there's toxic players.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's always gonna be toxic players no matter what. But oh damn, I don't even know how to put this. It's like, man, how do I put this?
We talked about it actually last two episodes. We talked about the same
Yeah,
thing because it's such a big controversy because they're always talking about speed soft and milsim. They're like always button heads, and it's not really true. You have your toxic players in milsim, and you have your toxic players in speed
yeah,
soft.
yeah.
Speed soft is it's more pronounced. It's more noticeable in speed soft because of just the sport of speed soft in general. Why it's so toxic, but you get it in both. Um,
Yeah. You get them both. So the thing is, speed soft, you're in such a fast-paced game where it's like I could run up to you and stick my gun and bunker you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But then in Milsim, you're so much at a like you're with your group of guys.
yeah,
You're far out. You're shooting like through windows and stuff like that. So the distance is a lot further. So it doesn't seem as toxic. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're not getting in someone's face.
yeah,
So with especially like these clips that we throw up sometimes. Like you see my clips. Like you see me running down the field shooting people, sticking my gun in guys. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it's not me being toxic. It's just the game style of the play style of speed soft.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? While with Milsim, you're never really that close unless you're clearing into a building, throwing nades and whatsoever. But even at that point, someone's still 5 feet in front of you. You're not that close to somebody. So a lot of times it does look like that we're doing something we're not supposed to because my gear is in your ribs, but it's just the play style, how it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But
glad
then
that.
of course though, like there are toxic people that you said talks a lot of crap and complains about this, complains about that, but it's that's the person. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna be like considerate or being nice about everything. It's their attitude.
I
You
feel like
know?
a lot of it too is if you think about it, take a group of kids that you watch and you're like, that they're getting into airsoft. How many, like, can you name like many people nowadays that kids is like, in my opinion, a lot of the problem, not saying all the problem. Because I mean, there's adults out there too that are just like, toxic. But a lot of the times it's kids.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
how many times do you hear of a kid jumping into paintball nowadays? It's almost unheard of.
It's
So
unheard of.
all the kids are flooding in to airsoft, doing the speed QB thing because that's what's the big thing for the most part is nowadays.
Yeah.
And they're all flooding into this, so we're getting all the toxicity. Whereas, paintball, and this is a conversation actually me and one of the guys that die had, he said, you don't hear a lot of like kids moving into paintball. Of course, you still got some, but the majority of paintballers have been there a while. They're older, they're more mature.
Yeah.
They know the reins, they know what works, what doesn't work, and that's why you don't hear as much junk about paintballers anymore.
Yeah.
Because I remember back when I used to play paintball, it was no different. I mean, it was no different than airsoft. But now that airsoft's the new big thing,
Mhm.
I mean, now it's
Yeah.
airsoft. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's like how I am. Like I have videos of me 10 years ago dropping 40 shots in a guy's head, running up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like that was when I was like what 18, 19. But then, like, you start getting older, you start progressing, you stop being that way. But then it's also the fact that you got to think about this. Getting into airsoft is a lot cheaper than paintball. You could buy, an AG for let's say a decent one for like $250, right? What else you need? Batteries, charger, right?
Yeah.
What else? That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. So I 100% agree with you. To get into airsoft, you can pretty much buy, dude. Well, the SSG one's a perfect example. That's a great gun to start off with,
Yeah.
or ARP9, same idea.
Yeah.
Just buy. You can get ARP9, I think, ready to go with battery for I think 350.
350, yeah.
And then you're done. That's it. Maybe some BBs
Mhm.
and that's it. So that part is 100%. But on the competitive aspect of Speedsoft and competitive in paintball, and I'm not talking about NXL type of stuff, but like going to play at SS, do you think there's still a huge price difference, or do you think it's pretty close?
So, for instance, Nitro paintball, right? That was our whole home field. A case of paintball is like still like $50. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Entry, air all day, you're still paying like $65, $70. You know what I'm saying, to play one day.
Wow.
And then, that's still a lot of money to think about it. And then what SS was like $25 to get in.
I'll just
And
throw
then-
out every time I go to SS, it costs me $100.
Yeah, it's between the gas we get and everything else, that's part's true. But I do see what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I guess that would answer the whole question. Is the main reason, I wouldn't say the main reason for our toxic is the younger players, because that's not really 100% true, but the younger players coming in is kind of backfeeding everything else. One person is toxic, which kind of affects the other person, which could be an
Yeah.
adult, and it kind of keeps feeding off of there.
So, yeah. So, like, I think that's how it is with younger kids these days. Like, when one acts one way, the other one acts the same way to be cool. You know what I'm saying? The cool factor.
Yep.
So it's like one's toxic, and then the other thinks, oh, that's cool, so let me do the same thing. So it just comes down the line where everyone starts being the same way, doing stupid shit when they're not supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it just drives a whole crowd that way. Like, I see it because I see these kids at SS sometimes talk about this stuff. Me and my team, we're all older guys. We're like, damn, really? Like I was sitting with biscuits. I was like, you hear this shit, man? I was like they're gonna try to do this, do that, dump on some kid. I was like, damn, it's like we're just here to have fun, enjoy ourselves. These kids are trying to be out here hurting kids,
Yeah.
turning up the HPA to like 150 psi, trying to like shooting 2.5, 3 joules.
But think
You know
about
what I'm
it.
saying?
You know, when you was a kid, when you was a young panda, just
Yeah.
just a little fluff ball. If your mom or your dad would have got a phone call from Steve saying Panda has been acting up today, when you got home, would you not have got your butt whooped?
Yeah.
Okay,
Man.
kids nowadays don't get that. And
True.
that's like, I used to get in trouble
True.
all the time. Chad call up mom, or Tribble will call up mom, say, "Oh, we had to put Hunter out today because he wasn't behaving. He was back talking." I was like, "Well, that's me. As soon as I get home, I'm getting whopped." So
Yeah.
I behaved. I done what was told. I didn't want to get tore up.
Yeah, and I
Well,
think
see-
their punishments are even at I know Battlecat specifically, just because I don't know how SS is, but if you get thrown out, especially during youth night, you get thrown out for a night. So I mean, you can't come back next week.
But I think they like accumulate. I think it's like, if you get thrown out one time, you're good. But the second time, it's like, a ban period. And then eventually, like after so many times, which it's not like it's easy to do.
Yeah.
After a ton of times, they'll put you on a no trespassing. Because I know of like 3 people since we've been playing at Battlecat that's been put on a no trespassing.
What was the last question I was gonna ask before we get over to the fun stuff? What do you guys do to get ready for like this tournament that's coming up? Or again, we call it practice tournament or whatever. But how do you guys get ready? Do you guys usually go on the field once a week, or?
So DSG as a team has been out of commission for the last two or I think, yeah, it's been 2 practices that we've been out because Biscuits got hurt pretty bad. I'm not sure if you've seen his video, but he ran down Snakeside full speed. Some kid, instead of walking against the wall, he was walking right against the bunker at the back,
Uh-huh.
and kind of like chops in front of him, so he kind of turns, and his knee kind of flexed the wrong way.
Oof.
He went down, and then I'll link you the video. You hear him screaming, and I was like, oh. So
That,
he has been
that
out.
was about 2 months ago, or you said 2 practices
Yeah,
ago?
that's about. So ever since then, we haven't really played that much because we've been wanting for him to recover.
Yeah.
Because like it's one of those things like if we go play, he's gonna want to go play.
Yeah.
So we've been wanting him to recover fully, and then a lot of us have been growing up,
Yeah.
doing adult things. You get what I'm saying? Like how you just got your kid. Congratulations to that also. And it's just like one of our players or two of our players are about to buy new homes. I have my businesses here. I just started a new business too. So it's like it's a lot of things that's like going on that's been taking us away from airsoft.
Man,
But
that's really good to hear. We were just talking about that. Like, we feel that we're not airsofters, I guess. I don't know. I have that feeling because everybody else is like going full ham every week, every month, full on airsoft, and us as a team that we've heard how many messages. Are you guys still a team? Are you guys still playing? And we're like,
Well, look
Yeah.
here, kid. Are you trying to build a house this year? And are you getting married next year? Yeah. Come on, kid.
did you
So-
pay your water bill? I mean, like simple stuff like that. And we're like, well, is there anybody else out there that has full? Because even like the big teams like LTD and SYG, they're still 100% airsoft. Now they have full
Yeah.
adults, but their business is airsoft, so it's kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
We're not that way.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I hope there's another team that actually is like doing real adult stuff. And that's cool to hear.
And
that's us.
everybody else has, some of them like you guys. Like I've seen it personally. Like y'all ride bikes. Y'all do other things. So it's not like your whole life revolves around airsoft. You've got a bunch of hobbies, and that's
Yeah.
respectable. So
Yeah.
it's like Kyra. He's big into the whole racing thing. He's got the real life racing. He's got the simulator racing. He's got his photography business. He's got all those other hobbies on top of being a dad and airsoft.
Yeah, you see it.
I've got a
Exactly.
lot going on, and like it's like especially for me, like usually October through December is when I absolutely cannot stand going to SS, and that is because that is deer hunting season, and I only get that 3 months out of the year, and then we go out of airsoft year round. You've got the shark fishing thing, you've got the hunting, you've got dirt bikes now, and then I do
Yeah.
a lot with those outdoor dream kids, and I just airsoft sometimes gets put on the back burner, but we've
Yeah.
not gone anywhere.
We talked about it last podcast about it's almost a good thing to take away. We're busy anyways, but it's also that break that you're giving yourself when you come back full swing. Like
You're hyped.
you're super hyped. Like I think we haven't touched airsoft in like 3 months, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, let's go to Battlecat this weekend. Let's shake off the dust. Let's kind of get in there. And next thing I know, I'm buying 2 guns and a bunch of parts, and we're getting ready, get the team. Like there's a lot going on all at once because we're like, okay, it's time. Let's play airsoft. And that big break is always a huge help.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with us. It's like 8 years. It's getting a new house. Royston is looking. He's been looking for a house with him and his wife and his kid. Biscuits is just being himself, just because he's really big in crypto. You know what I'm saying? So he's just on the phone all the time now. Tyler, our ex-runner, he's been boss of team jobs, and he's got a good place now. He's getting his life together. I'm just busy with all these hobbies, trying to keep everything together because like I'm into sports, like airsoft, motorcycles. I do like sports cards, trading, buying. It's like all my cars, like it's a bunch of them sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my goodness.
it's like I have so much things going on, and then January, February, and March is tax time for me, where all my businesses come together, and I was like, oh crap, man, I gotta do all the taxes for everything, try to cut corners, try to save some money here, a little bit of money there, because like we got like the nail shops, we got the acrylic business, I got my Cerakote business, because the Cerakote for airsoft is just for airsoft.
Yeah.
But I also have my company that does real guns, real steel too, like full customization of guns and everything too, like real steel stuff. So that business, and then I have my marketing business. Like I have a lot of things behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like I'm super busy, and then I also have my property management team also. So it's like, dang, March, January, February, and March is like my time. I need to just like close everything out and just focus and try to save money at that time because like I'm throwing money to the IRS like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's like money out of my pocket now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do whatever I can to save the money. So that's why I'm so busy. But like now, like it's April now, so like cool. Tax is extended to May now. So yeah, I have some of the time, but then I'm pretty much set and done. So I'm like cool. I'm ready to come back to play. That's why I got the new GAT. You know, the team's rounding everything back up together. I was like, boys, it's time to come back. And this week's supposed to be our comeback. So we'll see how it goes.
What you think about the
You know,
teams lined up for this year? You think we have a lot of teams this year, or not as many?
we have a good set amount of teams. We're gonna have Psy still. You got Nova. You got us. You guys, whenever you guys come down, and there's like 4 or 5 other teams that kind of like are like newer teams. But then of course there are teams that's like kids teams where it's like, oh, I hate you, blah blah blah, and they disband, and then the same 3 guys make one team and they add 2 guys on, and so it's like we see these teams that comes up, and I was like, damn, I wish you guys just stick together,
Yeah.
for the whole year to make sense. You know what I'm saying? But like it's always nice to see like new teams and stuff like that. But so we'll see how the season goes. Because I'm really waiting for it to be where it actually like really counts, like tournament style, like points like per tournament, and then from the end of the year put everything together as a finale. See who's the top dog.
Yeah.
And like make like an all-star game at the end of the year, something like that. You get what I'm saying?
No, I know what you mean.
Because then that would drive us bigger teams, us like legit teams, to work harder to actually go and play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. While a lot of times it's like the practice tournaments are cool and everything, but then you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
It's like bragging rights. That's all you get. You know what I'm saying? While I'm sure if there's points to the system, you guys be down here every tournament because y'all going to be trying to be the top dogs, right?
Yeah, we tried that last time.
We'll be out there all the time also. But it's just that since the point system isn't there yet, we always put things in front of airsoft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
So that's my take on it.
So we're going to get to a little bit of fun stuff for just the last couple of minutes. Outdoors. So, Hunter and them, they like to go to the outdoors. What's that place called?
Georgetown, baby.
Georgetown. And they said you head there as well. Is that right?
You see my big sniper up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing shoots across the lake down in Georgetown. So, it's built by the boys and Airsoft Junkies. That's actually their personal gun there, personal team gun. But I got a chance to snag it, so I did. But yeah, like we love the outdoors. Like I think outdoors it's a little more chill, but then you get to just like hang out with your boys, like do a little more team bonding out there and like go out into the woods and just go at it, and it's not so stressful as being in that SpeedQB environment all the time,
Yeah,
so
I love
we enjoy it,
man. I'm big into the outdoors. Wolf's big into the outdoor. That we like the sniper aspect as well. Me personally, I like that sniper aspect, not because of American Sniper or some movie like all these other people. I like it simply because of I hunt. So I'm used to, sitting there for hours on end waiting on a deer. Well, it's no different than waiting on, somebody else to walk in front of me or me creep up on them, a little spot and stalk action. I love it. So it's just, it's fun. But sniping's not for everybody, though. I will throw that out there.
No, I did it a little bit, and I'm not much of a fan. A DMR, I'll go to the extent that I want to build a DMR that'll work outdoors. But I like when we go outdoors. We have a local field. It's not even a real field. It's actually for paintball, but it's something that we can play on and have a good time. And anytime we do that here in Anderson, it's always, like you said, hanging out with the boys, having a good time, just basically relaxing. We just come up with random games off the top of our head and just have fun with it. So anytime we do outdoors, it is a lot more relaxing. But it seems like whenever we do speed soft, it's like, okay, game on, focus up, type of deal.
Exactly. That's how we are.
Do you have any other final questions?
No.
Nothing you come up with?
Okay. I was sitting here thinking about it. No, I think I'm good.
Cool.
Man,
do you have
any?
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
So when's the next time we're gonna see you guys out here?
Next month we will we'll be there. We're trying to give Maverick a little time to raise Maverick, get
Oh, yeah,
get
that's
him
true.
settled in. Some of the other guys, they've got a couple things going on. I've got a couple things this month going on. I'm not even free till next month. But we will be there next month. We should be there for the most part the rest of the year after next month. We may have like a couple misses here and there just because of work and other stuff, but
Yeah.
we should be back to pretty consistent next month.
Yep. Yeah, we should be pretty set. Any future plans for you guys for the rest of the year? Any traveling planning on doing?
Of course, well, we're not gonna travel out of state to play also. It's just our schedules are so like conflicted at the moment. Because some of our guys were starting new jobs, like I said earlier.
Hmm.
So it's all about scheduling, and because like since the end of last year, we've always been wanting to travel. All the guys are adults. We all got funds and everything, But it's just it's time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just we have to put some time out and try to figure out when's a good time to do it all.
What's that big event at the end of the year?
Yeah, we actually, as a team, a few of us are going to head out. We got an invite, a little personal invite. We're going to head out to HTK Airsoft this year. We're going to head out that way. Further.
Indiana?
Yeah, in Indiana. We got an invite from some of the boys. We'll leave it at that. They want us to come out there with them, so I think we're going to do a little traveling with them, and it's usually around October. So
If you can
Huh?
make that, I would try. Like, 'cause it's not anything pressure, but what's pretty cool is that whole event. They'll be running outdoors, and it's a huge. I don't know how many acres, but it looks like 100-acre field.
big.
It's a big field, and then the next day it's a building with 3 levels, and on the third floor is a whole SpeedQB field.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're gonna try to hit that towards the end of the year. So keep on the lookout if you guys can make it. We're gonna drive. Flying might be a little rough, so we're gonna drive up there so we can tag team if you guys want to.
Yeah.
But
I'll talk to the boys to plan it all out to keep our schedules a little open in October. Should be fine because by October time comes around, we should be all pretty much free, by then. So
Yep.
we're good to go.
Well, man, I greatly appreciate it. This was good talking. There's so much, so we have so much more questions, especially outdoor stuff. So we can probably talk another hour about the outdoor stuff. So man, I greatly appreciate you being on here. We're gonna definitely do this again. We'll definitely see you next month. Good luck this weekend. You guys will crush it. But other than that, we'll catch you guys for next time. As for the guys out there watching, thanks for joining us on the TROD podcast. If you guys, is there any questions on there? We like doing it at the end, but I know we've been kind of getting this going. Okay. If you guys have any questions or anything for the next time we do this podcast, we're going to try to do this every 2 weeks if we can, at least once a month. So if you guys have any questions, either message us or put in the chat on the day of, and we'll keep this rolling. But other than that, greatly appreciate it, guys. Peace.